do some testing, and then we're gonna not only throw it on there, we're going to throw it on the Gen 5 with something just as simple as this, which is crazy, right? Hey everybody, Angry Sarge. I'm back to, I guess, talk about this little setup and show you all the things that I'm about to do with this testing. So we were having some issues on the Dagger frame, and I wanted to make sure that we had an OEM frame. So I reached out to one of my buddies and he hooked me up with his Glock 23, which I'm going to do a cool video on showing you how to convert this to a 9mm. It's really simple. There's really only one thing that you have to change on the lower parts, but not a big deal. I'm just going to go ahead and swap everything out. But I got this back from Tag Precision. They did a little bit of testing. I haven't cleaned this thing, and I won't clean it until we're done. So until I can figure out what's going on, which I kind of already have the idea of why this is not running so well on other frames, but could possibly run really well on the OEM frames because of tolerances. So on that, I wanted to give a big thank you to Tag Precision. They took this, they shot it and did all that stuff, but they also gave me the fibers for this. So I appreciate that. I'm excited to use these. I have an Optic I'm gonna mount too, so this is gonna be a pretty extensive video, and I'll show you how I do all my stuff except putting on the iron sights, which I did in unboxing, and just put this together, make it ready, OEM parts, all that stuff. So we're gonna use some OEM parts today from Marine Gun Builder. He's my go-to. If I'm gonna do OEM parts or Marconi Armory, either one, you can use either one, but I support my friends, and I know I got straight OEM parts coming from MGB. So Gen 3 Glock 23 to a Glock 19 is pretty simple, not very difficult. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna strip all the parts out. I'm gonna put the 9mm parts in here. In reality, I don't have to. There's only a couple things that you have to change on this to really make it go. So I think we'll just go ahead and get into it. We're back with the Optic. Thank you to Gideon for sending this to me to take a look at, run it, see what I think about it as far as testing it on this slide. So this will be fun. So open it up. It's a Gideon Rock. So this will be a interesting optic. Get all the stuff out. Sorry. Got the screws, got Allen wrenches or hex, and the star, and the flat tip, 2 flat tips, so you can adjust it. Okay, so we got everything we need to work this. We'll get this unmounted from the pick rail, because we're not going to use it on the pick rail. It's going to go on this. And let's go ahead and put this stuff to the side. Alright, so we're going to put some lead Aegis on here. I like to lube everything, make sure it's good to go. Stick some on the barrel. Just getting this ready to go to the range. Stick it on this bad boy. Pretty simple. Yeah, it's dirty, man. This thing's dirty. Okay. So alright, so this is what it looks like. And what I like to do is I like to take a little laser cartridge, stick it in there. I'll look across the room about 20 feet or so, and I'll get this dot lined up on it. And then once it's lined up on it, that's when I take it out to the range and run it after that and kind of finish the zero process. But it just gets it close, and when it's close, then it's a lot better than it was. So, but we'll come back. All right, we're back. I want to show you real quick what I do. You're gonna see, maybe you'll see the red laser, probably not, and then the green dot. So what I like to do, like I said, is I'll take it out and I'll run it back like 25 feet, 30 feet. I think it's like 30 feet across my house at the furthest point. So I'll go inside, I'll run it back and just kind of go from there and get it close. And pretty much I've noticed that I'm fairly on. If I need to tweak it a little bit, I'll tweak it, but for the most part, I'm pretty good. So other than that, that's it. That's how you put this together. We got a nice OEM-ish pistol. Well, it's all OEM besides the slide and the barrel and the irons. So we're ready to take this bad boy out to the range, go do some testing so I can prove up and see what the actual real problem is, which I'm pretty sure what it is something really simple as sorry. So it's gonna be that these rails are just a little bit too thick on other models, but the OEM is perfect. So you might be able to clean those up a little bit, and then you can run it to, you know, the break-in period, running it on an SCT or anything else. So you'll get your options and be able to really run this slide. So if everything proves right, that's probably going to be the problem, and that's where we're going to start. We're going to try it on some other frames too while we're there and see if we can have any malfunctions occur, and if it does, then we pretty much know what's going on. So on that, appreciate you hanging out with me. This is going to be a long one, but it's going to be a nice good start to this problem solving period. So, and you got to see a couple cool things. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're definitely not going to see some cool things, but this is going to be a really long video with some cool things on it that will probably be on Gray Hive or Rumble or somewhere where I can show you all the mounting and all that stuff. So, all right, on that, let's see what we're doing next. All right, everybody, we're back, and I want to just mention something to you. You see this configuration? I know you're thinking, okay, this is a Gen 3 slide and this is a Gen 5 frame. How can we get this Gen 3 slide to work on this Gen 5 frame? That might be your question. Maybe, maybe not. But if it is your question, it's really simple. You only need two things, and I'm going to show you what they are. One is a Gen 5 backplate, and the second is this slide adapter plate, which you can get from places, but this is from Strike Industries. I like Strike Industries. They make a lot of great parts, so definitely going to change this Gen 3 to a Gen 5. Really simple, like I said. You only need two parts. It's silly how easy this is. All right. So we're going to put this thing on. Pretty simple. What I recommend you do is go ahead and push the trigger forward and then slide it on. And then it'll work, because the way the shark fin is on here, and I'll show you, it's a little different than the Gen 3, Gen 4, okay? So if you look at the shark fin here on the Gen 3, and then look at the shark fin on the Gen 5, they're definitely different, okay? This one's a little bit, it's cut up a little bit more and a little bit sharper curvature on it, so that's definitely the difference. Like I said, just push your trigger forward. Slide it on and it works. And like I said, this little piece right here allows you to cover up that hole some more, fill in that gap, and be able to use your spring, your Gen 3 spring and the Gen 5. So works, functions, everything's good. It's ready for the range. Gen 3 on a Gen 5, who would have thought, right? So cool. And like I said, you can change these out. You can keep this back plate on when you want to put it back on the Gen 3, but you got to remember to take one piece off. Pretty simple, right? Uh-oh. Always having problems. There you go. Now it's back on the Gen 3. Okay. Glock 23. Remember the RTF, fish gill, all that stuff. It's ready to roll. Do some testing. And then we're going to not only throw it on there, we're going to throw it on the Gen 5 with something just as simple as this, which is crazy, right? It's just crazy that you can swap these like that. Sorry, this spring's just it's new, so you gotta find that right point that it wants to go and move. Oh, sorry. Dunsky. All right, and lastly, I'm gonna take this Nomad right here. I'm gonna throw parts in it, and we're gonna run it on there as well. It does have the Gen 4 type dust cover, so it's a little bit thicker in there, a little less, a little bit bigger, I guess, if you want to call it that. So same thing. You just throw it on there and it'll cover up that spot too. So I mean, that actually looks pretty good on there like that. Marconi Slide, man, that's it, that's the one. So we're gonna go out, we're gonna shoot these, we're gonna see what's going on, make sure the OEM, Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5, and let's just say Gen 3, Gen 4, because the rails are really close, and Gen 5. That's what we're going to shoot, figure out what's going on with this thing. Maybe we'll be good to go, won't have any more hiccups. And if that's the case, it's definitely going to come down to the rails and how wide they are and how thick they are. So this is really close to OEM. I just measured everything. So I think we're gonna do good and run it and kill it. So we'll see. All right, let's go to the range. Got 115 grain, Gen 3. Alright, so we're going to run 124s, Gen 3 frame still. Alright, so we got 115. We've got the Nomad Defense, which is basically a Gen 4 frame. Gonna give it a shot. So far, we've been lucky. Gen 3's running. No issues so far. Alright, 124s, Nomad Defense, Gen 4. Oh, okay. There we go. Just got hung up. That was a user error. So what happened is I had my finger on that lever and caused it to lock the slide open. And another one, I locked it again. So that's user. I'm locking it open because of my grip. High grip is what's causing that. So you can see right here that I'm pushing up on it while I'm pushing forward. So that's it. All right, so we're on the Gen 5 frame. We're gonna run 115, Gen 5 Marconi Slide. So far we've been running pretty good. I'm excited. .124 Gen 5 frame. All right, everybody, I'm back from the range. I've got these kind of in order. of how I shot them as well. So you got the Gen 3, which is the Glock 23 that I converted to the 9mm. We've got the Nomad Defense, which is technically a Gen 4. They share a lot of similarities with the actual OEM as far as the rails and stuff like that. So very, very similar. And then we have the Gen 5 G45 grip right here. So I really didn't have any issues with much out there. I mean, there was a couple little snags, but it was definitely not due to the slide not functioning or anything like that. It was just silly little things that happened, like, you know, grip on this, me gripping too tight and it causing the slide lock to engage and cause the slide to lock back, stuff like that. However, after about 700 rounds, we lost the front sight. So I'm not gonna say that it was the company's fault by any means. The product held. It was more or less, I think it just got too hot and there wasn't any Loctite, or I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but it came off. And as you can see, this thing's disgusting, by the way. We'll just lock the slide back so you can see the barrel. Like, look at that. That's supposed to be copper or something like that, and it's dark. It's disgusting. I did not clean this. I wanted to go through the whole thing. We've shot well over 1,000 rounds through this. Slide and barrel combo. The Gideon held up. I think the only thing that I noticed, because I'm used to big open windows, is this is more of an RMR size window, but it held up. No issues by any means. We did have brass coming back and hitting it, but it didn't damage the glass. Just some smudges, stuff like that. So this did what it's supposed to do, and I'll say on the OEM frames, those kind of rails and stuff, it's perfect. Ran flawless, no issues. Like I said, no stovepipes, no fail to feed, fail to eject, any of that. It ran like it was supposed to with 115 grain. No change in the springs either. This is all OEM. In the slide, in the lower, same here, it's all OEM, and of course definitely OEM. So how I did it, instead of running the cap from Strike Industries, I just only ran the Gen 5 backplate and just went from there. I mean, it's only a cosmetic thing. So if you plan on running it, you know, do your little cosmetic piece, add the Strike Industries adapter, and it'll look nice. But yeah, that's it. This got a little dirty, this got a little dirty. These are gonna get cleaned up, and Tag is gonna send me a new front sight, so that's pretty cool because I completely lost it. I don't know where it went. It flew to oblivion when it flew off. So other than that, I mean, look at that. This thing definitely performed. I'm happy with it. I think you will be too. However, like I said, you know, there is some frame compatibility issues right now, but we are working on something that will definitely help, because we're talking about, with this being tight tolerance, it's thousandths of an inch. So we figured that piece out, maybe some lapping compound or something like that, lots of racks, and it'll probably break itself in shooting. So that'll be good. We'll figure that piece out. But thank you to Gideon, thank you to Tag Precision Marconi Armory, my buddy, for lending me this frame, or Glock 23 period, so I could do a little video on it. Love the Nomad, by the way. I'm still not a fan, I noticed, of the Glock 19 grip because it's too small. When I shot this full size grip, I felt much better with it. So on that, I just wanted to give you guys kind of my thoughts at the end, what issues I came up with, and I thank you so much for just hanging out with me, because this is probably a really long video, I'm sure. So on that, thank you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.